Hey guys, it's Buddha Gem here, and we're still talking about intellectual self-defense. And the idea I have right now is to do some hands-on intellectual self-defense in a book I'm currently reading. It is More Powerful Than Dynamite: Radicals, Plutocrats, Progressives, and New York's Year of Anarchy by Ty Jones. Um, I met Ty recently at a talk. There's this nice little signature to me. At a talk at the Tenement Museum here in New York City. It was Remembering Emma Goldman, which was very interesting. Ty was there, and a number of other different authors. It was a very fun night. If you haven't been to the Tenement Museum, highly recommend it. One of our better museums here in New York City. And the reason I want to do this book is, as I read through it, I'm still not completely done, but I should be done probably by tonight or the next day. But the reason I wanted to do this is I think the way Ty Jones writes about radical politics is pretty typical. And if you are going to be reading, you're going to come across this type of stuff a lot. It's assumptions that are made, it's language, it's the biases that are naturally found within writings like this. And so without intellectual self-defense, we just walk away and think everything in here is the gospel. But of course, all writers have some bias, but it's never clear, right? I mean, any author who writes, this is just the way it is. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's just not the way it is. And it takes intellectual self-defense to kind of cut through that and, what's real and what's not. There's certainly a lot of great facts in here, interesting information. One of the fun things Ty did in this book is he includes a lot of the actual weather data, which I thought was kind of interesting. It turns out that April 1914 was almost identical to April 2014, which I just found endlessly fascinating. It was a long, cold April. People were like, winter, please be over. And it just kept hanging around. And that's exactly what we're going through. So little stuff like that I find very fascinating. So we'll go through some passages. I wouldn't recommend getting this book necessarily. It is interesting if if you're so inclined. But really, I'm doing it because I think, again, it's very typical of writing about radical politics and stuff that you'll encounter, the type of stuff we'll go through. So that'll be in upcoming videos. We'll probably do a few different videos on, take a little excerpt and we'll kind of deconstruct it. Okay, so that's what's coming up next in this series on intellectual self-defense. And with that, I'm going to end with a nice little blurb here from the Gnomester, Noam Chomsky. I'm going to read that, and that's how we'll end this video. Jobless, homeless, hungry, desperate. Remarkable how those words resonate through the years in the richest and most powerful country in world history. Their significance is dramatically highlighted in this compelling and vivid portrayal of the currents that swept the country a century ago, and have come back to haunt us and inspire us once again today. More Powerful Than Dynamite is an impressive piece of work. Noam Chomsky. I disagree with the Gnomester on this one. And we'll talk more about that in future videos, okay? Well, that's it. So stay tuned for more intellectual self-defense and More Powerful Than Dynamite coming up. Stay tuned.